Okay, YouTube, I give. I really can't explain more about my version of witchcraft without going into my specific beliefs. So, that's what we're going to talk about today. I am a Deist pagan. What that means... If you want the Reader's Digest version, there's a very, very well done page on www.religionstolerance.org/deism. I'll put the link below. It's really great. In a nutshell, the short version is that I don't believe any religion has it right. I think the universe, the creators, God, whatever you want to call it, is far too complex for our little human minds. Deists reject the idea of holy texts or prophecies or things handed down to man because man is fallible. And that means I also reject the pagan creation stories, which usually involve Mother Earth or moon goddesses, just as much as I reject the Christian creation story in Genesis. And it's not even so much that I reject Genesis. It's perfectly possible that in God's mind, he did make the earth in 7 days. That doesn't mean that God's idea of a day is the same as we perceive it. It could have been eons. What's to say he started off, made the dinosaurs, went, maybe not, and started again and eventually came up with us. I don't see a problem with that. But regardless, deists aren't atheists either. They just take kind of a more logical approach to things. There's plenty of logical evidence that a God exists. Most deists believe that God created us, set us on our course, and that's it. We're here to make of creation what we please. That's where I start veering off more into paganism. Right. Studying other religions, particularly Eastern ones, helped me find the best way to express how I feel. Tao is a Chinese religion that is based more on like the wholeness of the universe and using our own energy to create action. But one of the first things that they say in the Tao Te Ching, which is their spiritual text, is that the Tao that is called the Tao is not the Tao. What that means is that you can't use human language to describe the universe or divinity or whatever you're going for, because of the limiting nature of human language. In order to define something as good, you have to separate it from bad. In order to describe male, you have to discard what is female. In order to say something is dark, you have to separate light, old and young. The universe is all of these things and none. It's the real understanding of it comes from what you feel and what your intuition tells you. Okay, onto magic. I believe the creators of the universe are just like us in a way. Think about it. Follow with me. Like creates like. Dogs create dogs. Humans create humans. Trees create more trees. I'm not talking about building, creating. You can even take similar things like a horse and a donkey and create a mule. And though they're different things, they still make something that's structurally similar. If you catch me there, you can't breed a horse and a donkey and get a dog or anything of a canine persuasion. It's going to be a four-hoofed ungulate, because everything has that kind of structure to it. Like creates like. So that which created everything in the universe is everything in the universe. It's kind of like in Dogma when they're explaining that, God's not really a man. God's not really a woman. God's everything all at once. Well, he's also nothing all at once because he is infinite. And infinite doesn't just span the good portion of things, it also spans the bad portion of things. And because we are created we are also creators. And it's through that kind of connection with our creators that we can create. It's through that connection we can do magic. Remember the 3 gifts to humanity I mentioned before: logic, intuition, and common sense to bridge the 2 and temper them. Magic is a very intuitive process, which means it can be difficult to focus and control. That's why most spells have a written component, words, images, rituals that our logical mind can grasp onto and use as a focus to direct our abilities. Visualization has been a very important part of witchcraft of almost every flavor. And in most religions, whether you're talking about Tao, Buddhism, Christianity, you have to have some sort of purpose and goal. Let me give you an example. Imagine a woman who very desperately wants to conceive and have a child. Just lighting a candle and asking very nicely won't really do anything. And likewise, just curling up into a ball of misery, not so much. She has to feel it. She has to feel the desire and the desperation. She has to visualize her baby in her womb moving inside of her. She has to feel the love for that baby, both inside and when it's in her arms, and imagine watching it grow. That kind of emotion is an amazing power. And that's just by itself. But when she can temper it with the words and actions of a spell, she can focus all of that yearning, that desire in a way that she can send onto the universe, and hopefully the universe will be able to make it work for her. It would help her certainly more than just saying the words, even if part of it is just personal comfort that she's done everything that she can. Sometimes things don't always come back the way that you want them to. But having that kind of control over your own destiny can be an amazing experience. Okay. Granted, of course, you have to temper a little common sense in there. She is going to need a partner or a sperm donor. Other than that, spell's a great way to get things done. Okay. Sundaism, explain my beliefs in the universe, and advertise magic. I think that's enough for one day. I'm trying not to make these obnoxiously long. I hope that it was at least interesting and at best enlightening. Next up are the elements, which I think are kind of the building blocks for everything else, and I hope to see you there. Blessed be.